Hey, what's up? It's Nick Pagliochini, and it's another episode of In Conversation. This is part 2 with this incredible, stunning beauty, Kim Kuzma. We're going to get to her in just a second, but if you have not checked out part 1 of In Conversation with Kim, make sure you do so because you're really missing out on getting to know her and her background of originally being from Canada, moving to the States, her music career, everything that brought her to Puerto Vallarta in Jalisco, Mexico, where we are right now at La Catrina Cantina. We'll get to that as well in a little bit. But be sure to check it out. You can get more details at thisweekendwithnick.com. Also, Nick Pagliochini and This Weekend with Nick on Instagram. Link in bio. Always an easy place to start out with. But before, we were talking with Kim about everything leading up to now. And so with that, we kind of briefly touched on it. Let's talk a little bit about it, more of the hustle that's here for you. Because between being an incredible artist and a talent and having had many opportunities and traveling, then you decided that it was time to expand and make sure that you had a balance for that hustle kind of thing.
Well, I came to a point where I realized I needed more stability. I was starting to travel with 8 suitcases.
That's
and
a lot.
It was like 8 from here to Palm Springs, where I lived as well. Palm Springs for a while. And then I would go to Gunquit and perform. So in Palm Springs, I'd sing at the Purple Room. Then I'd go to the front porch and I'd sing in Gunquit, Maine. And then back to Palm Springs, change out some clothes, come back to Puerto Vallarta. 8 suitcases by myself.
That's a lot.
Nobody offers to help you except the guy with the cane. I was just like pushing these 2 carts. And I just wanted to get some more stability in my life. So I thought, what could I do that would utilize how many people I know from here, singing on the gay cruises, performing in San Francisco, Vancouver, living in Vancouver. I know a lot of people, and I had a couple friends ask me to do real estate. And so I thought about it seriously, thought about it over COVID. Mm-hmm. And then finally I reached out to Ryan Donner. I didn't know him that well, but I'd watched his social media and back then he was advertising on the back of buses and young, gay. And I just thought, I want to learn more about this guy. So I made an appointment to talk to him. And I remember him saying to me, I wasn't looking to hire someone without any real estate background, but I'd be a fool not to hire you because everyone knows you. And I tell you, my second year was like banger year, busy beyond belief, and I could not have done it without his help. Been an incredible boss, an incredible mentor, and our team is really good too.
And I think that's what's so unique because the world south of the border, it's challenging enough around the U.S. to try to navigate renting and owning. Here is a different bug. Yeah, I was like, add Spanish. Add, requirements if you're going to be near the beach with a trust or there's so many more requirements here.
Yeah.
What was that kind of, you're really, as we've talked about in part 1, you're very good at adapting. You've had a lot of development. You've had a lot of movement. You've had a lot of experience. You've worn many hats. So all those were there. All the facets were there. What was it like for this? Because this is, not 180 degrees away from where you are.
It was a huge learning curve.
It's a learning curve. So what was that like for you, especially a new language and, a very different set of rules?
I think I know how to run a soundboard. I know how to set up a PA system.
Of course.
Right.
No, of course. No, I know all that from entertainment.
And all that stuff. This was such a head-twisting learning curve. There were many days that I felt extremely stupid. I felt like I was a kid again some days of just not being able to do things right, in the sense of trying to learn everything. Like I said, I cannot say enough about Ryan Donner because he has probably spent over $100 hours.
I was going to say $100. Kim is a steal, an absolute steal.
Pesos.
Oh, no, $100. We'll do $100, not 100 pesos.
No,
but yeah.
he's just spent so many hours with me.
And we will be having Ryan Donner as one of the upcoming guests on In Conversation. So you'll get to learn about him a little bit more. But with Donner and Asociados, right? What has that been like? Because the team's pretty big right now. So,
it is big,
you kind of
growing.
Yeah, I was like, and it is huge. And real estate down here is so unique and I don't know, special because it depends on if you like. So here in Vallarta, there's many different areas. Right now, we're in Zona Romantica. You've got Centro, you've got Cinco de Diciembre. Like you've got these different neighborhoods that we're used to out and around Southern California and beyond. But here it's so different, and there's so many rules, and especially because you have such an international clientele.
Yeah.
So going back to people from Vancouver and people from Palm Springs and all those connections, coming down here and then helping educate yourself in the beginning, but then also educate these folks
Absolutely.
on all these new things. What has that been like? What are some of the, if somebody wanted to maybe move down here, what some of the things that you've learned that would be helpful, just words of wisdom or ideas?
Well, I think some people think that you have to be a resident to buy here, which you don't. But because we are in the federal zone, you do have to pay for the privilege of living so close to the beach. It's up to 50 kilometers, 30 miles from the beach. So you do have to pay a trust, and a bank holds the trust.
Sure.
So the deed is in your name, but the bank holds the trust. So it's called a fideicomiso.
Okay.
So it's, so there is this annual payment that you have to make every year. But the predial, your property tax, is so low here that it's nothing compared to United States and Canada. So it's a small fee to pay for the privilege of living in Vallarta.
And Vallarta is such a dynamic community. We obviously talk, and we're here for LGBTQIA plus Pride this coming weekend when we're filming. But it's so much more. There's a very large queer community here, but there's like once you go inland, I mean, the Vallarta community as a whole is so diverse. And I think that's what I enjoy. And especially because it's very cosmopolitan-ish, it's very international.
Yeah.
You hear a lot of not just Spanish and English, but you hear many different languages that are down here. What is it like even for like Canadians, like bringing people down from Vancouver? Has it been like, this is, I guess you would call it, like people would refer to it as a snowbird situation.
Yeah, I call it a gay mecca. But yes, it's a snowbird situation.
Kim is no stranger to homosexuals in any way, shape, or form. Anyone that falls on that, anybody of the alphabet mafia is a friend of Kim's. But all that being said, I think, I see families here. I see,
absolutely.
So much more than just the queer community. Yeah. While they might be, at the forefront and they might be the more colorful and visible, there's a lot of family. And so I would never deter anybody from coming to Vallarta.
No, and it's safe. And it's safe. I mean, that's a key thing. The one thing I love how colorful it is, and some people might think I'm a prude for saying this, but I do think at the end of the day, if you're a visitor, anybody, whether you live here, you're a visitor, I do think that people have to be respectful that this is a religious country and there are families walking around.
Correct.
And no one needs to see someone's butt cheeks walking down the sidewalk.
Yeah.
But I just think, Mexicans are so welcoming and they invite everyone and the service is so kind. I just think that little bit of respect has to be given back in return.
Yes.
So, I mean, I'm not trying to poo-poo things or
no, of course
sound
not.
like a prude, but I just think sometimes people forget that and just go, we're just going to go crazy while we're here.
Right.
And I just think, what are your thoughts, Juan?
I completely agree.
Okay, good.
We're guests in their country, and we still need to respect the culture and.
Exactly.
Right.
And it's very family oriented. And we've got older women walking the streets.
Right.
I mean,
it's very much a community. And I think Juan, who's off camera right now,
Sorry.
you'll be able to, he'll jump in. This is Juan, and you'll be able to catch up with him on in conversation short. But
That's what I'll say.
yeah, no.
Feel free to be gay, to hold hands.
Absolutely.
Give a nice kiss to your partner, dance with them. The locals really accept the gay community here. But as Kim said, be respectful. Don't do something that you wouldn't even
do it your own home.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think that's a good thing to not just say within the queer community, but just
Everybody.
in general. It is where people are coming through. And again, and I think you both have said it well, while this is an incredibly warm and welcoming community, we are guests here.
Absolutely.
Overall.
Anywhere. That you're
But I
a
think
guest.
here, especially because there are cultural norms that are slightly different than ours. And a lot of times we get out of town and we have a few cocktails and we kind of throw that to the wayside.
Yeah.
And so I think what you've said is truly come here, enjoy yourself, It's LGBTQIA plus Pride weekend, so you may see a few butt cheeks. You may see a little bit more
Oh, I'm
salacious.
not afraid of seeing it.
No, but I'm saying this might be the weekend that things are a little bit
Over the
kinky.
top.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
correct. And so
Absolutely.
I think that's a big point of it is looking more so for the longevity of Vallarta as a community and coming down here and becoming, because really, I look at you, I look at Juan now that I know him, as really part of the fabric of Vallarta. Even though you might be small, you know, if we're looking at a quilt, you might be newer squares on that quilt, but you really are such a integral part of it because not only are you an incredible performer or providing like La Catrina Cantina, a space that's welcoming and inviting for everyone, not just people of the queer community, but also through those personal representations of who you are and how you conduct yourself out and about, or how you conduct yourself, you know, on stage, behind the bar, whatever the situation is, it's also educating people, you know, just kind of the unspoken word of like, oh, this is how we act here. Oh, okay, I like that. I think it's a great opportunity.
Yeah. I don't mean to sound like I hope
No,
I
you're
don't
not
sound
at
like a
all.
prude. I just, you know, you see some things and it's like, whether you're straight, gay, I mean, I don't give a shit, but I just think anybody, just be respectful of where you are.
And I think that's it. I think that's really, it's that respect because for having myself traveled the world, I have always found the amount of respect that you give to others is usually what comes back. And I can only think of maybe 1 or 2 times in at least 30 of my 42 years on this planet of traveling around the globe where my respect to other people was not returned. And I think that's the biggest part is come here, have an incredible time. Vallarta is a vivacious community, no matter what your orientation or interest is. But real estate is epic here. Like, it's really, really impressive. Being able to come in here and do that. And then I think I want to go back to a little bit of what we talked about in part 1 of you started the Palms was your initial thing. So talk to me about the Palms, because if you're tuning in for the first time and aren't familiar with Vallarta as a community, what is the Palms?
Well, the Palm Cabaret was now in their 25th year, I believe. I mean, it's pretty impressive what they've pulled off. It's the longest running cabaret here in town. And they've got incredible talent. My dear friend Misconception performs there, and lots of friends perform there. But yeah, I mean, they've just evolved with time, and I tip my hat to them. I mean, it went from the Palm Cabaret to Bench and Bar, and I performed there for a bit, and then it went back to the Palm. And I mean, it's definitely evolved over the years. Bringing in great talent, both local and from the States and Canada. But it's interesting. It's changed over the years. The other day, a lovely young lady that was singing, I went to see her do a show for the Christina Aguilera show, Patrice. And she said, "Oh, you're the OG of PV." And at first I thought, old girl.
As opposed to original gangster.
Original gangster.
That's great.
I was like, oh God. And we discussed this for a bit about aging here. It's like, it's a very humbling thing.
Let's talk about that. Let's delve into that a little bit more. I think it's a good opportunity.
Mind screw. It's a mind screw. I'm 59. I started at 40 here.
Okay.
And I'm 59, and I hate to admit it, but I always tell women, admit your bloody age when it's your birthday, because some women did not get to see that age. So get over yourself. Be grateful for the years you have. But it's interesting because I've seen so many new acts come in, and like this year was the first year of not having my name on the Palm poster. And I got to be honest with you, I was a little, it was, but I've had so many great years at the Palm and working with Adriana and Mark and Gustavo, and then things evolve.
Right.
Coco of Coco's Kitchen. Have you ever been to Coco's Kitchen for breakfast?
I have not. So talk to me about it.
You got to go. It's on Pulpito. Coco, I used to end the season at the Palm and then do a blowout party at Coco's with my band. And during COVID, 9 people only wanted to come to a show, and they were like, "Hey, I got 12 tonight." I'm like, "There's 4 of us. We got to eat."
Right.
Or 4 or 5 of us at the time. So I went to Coco and asked if she wanted to do a dinner show. And luckily she was like, "Yeah, I'd love to. Let's do a dinner show. It's outdoors. It's a great space. You're under the stars. You've got trees. It's a garden kind of theme." And so I started doing dinner shows there every 2 weeks. So Coco saved my butt. thank God for all the people that keep coming to our shows. And I got to sing with Kevin Anthony this last season, sorry. So I am so grateful to the people that still love music, that still love singing, without having to have a gimmick on the side.
Sure.
And I'm not putting anyone down for that. I'm just like, I don't have dancers or stuff like that. So, that just love music. So, and I thank you for all who came.
Yeah, I was going to say, not just that, but you have to see Kim, and we're going to talk about her social media and everywhere else where you can view her. You need to come down here to Vallarta to view her, because the amount of energy that she embodies just in conversation to this day, and as we are now finding out, coming up on 20 years of incredible time here. And I think even more so, let's talk
19th year here.
19th year here. You're getting there. Like that's a milestone
Oh,
in and
I'm
of itself.
still moving.
Oh no, she is 100%. And between the outfits and the energy and the performance. But
Thank
right
you.
now we're at La Catrina Cantina, where you have a show coming up this weekend.
I am this Saturday. I'm going to be here. It's early.
It's an early show, which is
be-
so. I was going to say, funny enough, just to interrupt you really briefly. A lot of things happen here, and we were joking off camera and off mic about the gringos come out early, and then the locals come out later.
Late.
You can come here almost. Monday and Tuesday are a little bit hairy. But you can come here and find something to do at almost any given hour of the day just by getting out in the neighborhood.
Absolutely.
Because there is that. So you've got an early show on Saturday for LGBTQIA plus Pride Weekend.
Pride Weekend. But I walked in, I said to Juan, I don't know if anyone's going to be there if it's at 9 p.m. It was packed. It was 3 weeks ago. And it was packed. People were dancing right away. I love disco. You know,
She's a true disco diva. It's really impressive that way.
I think it's happy, fun music.
And we're going to get her to do it at least once a month, right?
Oh
For
my,
disco
I
night.
like
Okay,
I love
so
how
you've
you're
heard it
trying
here
to get
first.
on camera.
In conversation is the first note where you're finding it that Kim Kuzma will be allegedly performing monthly with the Disco Diva show here at La Catrina Cantina in Vallarta.
The gays love disco.
Well, the gays love disco and the gays love Kim. So,
If people are in town this weekend, would love to come in, go see the parade. The parade starts at 10.
Yeah, I was going to say, so
It's early.
it's historically been on Thursdays. This year it's moving to Saturday.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit different. It's a little bit more akin to what people in the U.S. and Canada are used to.
Oh, during the day. That's
correct.
right, too.
During the day and everything else, as opposed to
Yeah.
one of my favorite things, and we're going to go a little off topic right now, but for Dia de Muertos here in Vallarta, they have a night parade that goes down the main corridor by the Malecon, which is along the coastline. And it's amazing. And I've done that. And so I highly encourage you not just to come out here, heading spring into summer, but come out. It's warm. Don't get it twisted.
It won't be toasty.
But, when you're moving that fall into winter time period, it's amazing. And especially with Dia de Muertos and the history behind that and everything here, there's so much in Vallarta that really does support that community. I mean, you got La Catrina here. I mean, that's very specific. But yeah, I think that's it. I think for you, going back to the show that you're performing here, it's in all ages, well, not all ages, but all audience ages.
Yeah.
Because you're dealing with young and
Yeah.
old and straight
gay.
and gay and male and female. I mean, it doesn't take much to see how much both an incredible venue like this, but also an incredible performer like yourself
I appreciate
really
that.
draws that in.
Thanks.
Because it's fun. And I think here, people come, and I think this kind of goes back to the respect conversation that we had. We want you to come to Vallarta to forget your worries.
Absolutely.
But don't throw them out the window.
Yeah.
Because don't make yourself have more worries by the way that you are down here.
Don't do stuff that you wouldn't do at home.
Right, exactly. And, if you do, yeah, we're disappointed. But anyway, yeah,
One
go.
of the concerns I had getting into real estate was I remember asking Mark, will people trust me as a realtor
Okay.
if they've known me as a singer, that I could switch roles like that? And Mark had said, he goes, you create relationships with people, whether you're on stage or off. And he said, people trusted you after seeing you perform, that you're yourself,
Right.
you're authentic, that they will trust you in real estate as well. And it's worked out really well. And I noticed that I tend to really, I get great relationships out of it with my clients. I call them, what do I call them? Friends who now clients.
So they're not frenemies,
Friends.
friends and enemies, but
Friends.
friends and clients, Friends. Okay, I love it.
But yeah, no, but I'm really grateful for being able to transition. I mean, how many times can you transition in your life? Being a singer and then become a realtor, completely different. I had a tandem paramotor there for a bit where I was flying people off a beach. So, I mean.
Wait, you what?
Yeah, it's.
No, wait, no. You can't just drop that random bomb and then not go into it. So what were you doing?
Do it too. I think Juan did it too. I had a tandem paramotor. Freda went up on it.
Oh, that thing.
Flying off the beach with
So describe what it is.
Sail.
Yeah.
It's like a machine with a big fan on the back and a 40-foot sail, and you
Up off the beach.
So I was still singing and doing that with a dear friend of mine, Alfonso. Did that for a year, plus driving back, singing twice a week here, driving to Litibu near Sayulita every day. So, I mean, I've always had this adventurous side of me, and I don't feel my age. I don't act my age. I hate that people are judged by age.
I think that's the thing. What for you, in your experience and all the time that has gone by, for people, and you've kind of dropped little pearls of wisdom here and there throughout, but give some more encouragement to people, because I think you're a good voice to, the experience as a woman, the experience of having different backgrounds and having traveled a lot and dealt with lots of different cultural things. So just kind of whatever you would like to have known, what would have been helpful, and nothing specific or hardcore, but just some things that you wish that you had known ahead of time that might have helped somebody, helped you as you were, navigating through life. And I know we're talking an incredible career and an incredible lifetime, but if there's just anything that stands out as things for you that you've learned that you wish you had known.
I wish I would have known that I could have done anything. I was always pretty shy, and some friends would laugh at me, but I wish I would have had that. My mom always instilled it in me, and I wish I would have had that self-confidence that I could do anything I want and not let fear hold me back. On a whole other context, I think kindness gets you everywhere in life. I think this country exudes kindness. I hate it when people say, do you feel safe being there by yourself? I always do. I think kindness goes a long way here. You try to talk Spanish with people. I mean, even though I butcher it at times, they love that you try. I think just being kind to people gets you so far here. There's another fabulous singer right there, Fiona.
Hi, Fiona.
Hola.
Hola. I think that's good, though. I think that that kindness really goes a long way. And
be kind to other performers.
Correct.
You got to be able to help people get open doors and promote each other. And
yeah, I think that's the hardest part. We do come from a global culture right now.
Looking after yourself.
Correct. And not looking out for each other enough. And I think that's a big part of it. And I think that's part of growth and development. And I think that's something I've learned along the way. And that's why, for me, it's so important to be able to support and promote other businesses, other ways of thinking, other countries, everything to that effect. And I think we're in a unique space now where technology has advanced so quickly that the world is teeny tiny.
Yeah.
And we can really, with one click on your phone, can be able to change what you're seeing and how you're experiencing life. And so I think that's amazing and helpful. To kind of start gearing up or wrapping things up, where can we learn more about you? Because I know we've talked about it, and I'm going to go, I will try my best to put links in the bio for finding you on Spotify or on any of the music places. But talk to me, where can we find and learn more about Kim?
Gosh, I got to update my website now.
I was like, yes. I was like, Kim Kuzma hold on.
KimKuzma.com.
Yeah, no, I was going to say, it's Kim Kuzma, hold on. Yeah.
Instagram, Kim_Kuzma. Join my music page. Join me on Kim Kuzma. Jeez. Pull
out your phone. You take your notes, whatever you need. We like to be full service here. So
I have my real estate page for Facebook and Instagram, and I will give Nick all the links.
And I will have all the links for you again at thisweekendwithnick.com. Also, we'll have in the show notes for In Conversation with Kim Kuzma. Also, I will have details for you at the link in bio at Nick Pagliochini and This Week of a Nick on Instagram for you to find those details, all the things. But yeah, I think it's fun, and I'm excited that we were able to sit down and catch up after a couple of years. Thank you. But also because you were so diverse and you have such a different background, and you've really kind of, as we were joking earlier, you grabbed life by the cojones.
You have to.
And you went with it, and you really made something special, and you continue to make. And I think that's a bigger thing that I need to say too. You continue to make things special.
Thank you.
You continue to bring joy to yourself first and foremost, which is the most important, but to other people.
Thank you. And I'm happy to help anybody. Anyone wants to, I always tell people, even if you're not ready to buy right now, I always tell people if you have questions, I'm happy to help. I don't ever want people to feel that they can only talk to me if they're ready to buy, because sometimes there's a lot to it.
Yeah.
And they want to learn how it all works and stuff too. So I'm always happy to answer questions. I'm very open about that. And,
all right, so you heard it here first.
Curve.
Not only may she be doing at La Katrina Cantina a monthly Disco Diva show, maybe. You can also slide into her DMs. They're open at any time. So she is more than willing to field questions. But Kim, thank you so much. This has been amazing. And whether it's this weekend or another weekend, Pride weekend or not, Kim and I, we look forward to seeing you out and about this weekend.
And thank you to Juan for allowing us in here today.
Yeah, thanks, Juan.
Thanks, Juan.
You're welcome.